Hi, greetings, YouTube family, peoples, greetings. Okay, today's video, I don't really know. I have some ideas of what to talk about. So we'll see. So, hi. May you and your family, your children, your plants, your animals, your home, the air around you, the land below you, surrounding you, be uplifted and favored, supported. May you be supported. May we be supported in this great change. All right. So, getting a little rain over here on the West Coast, which is super nice because it's been quite dry. And I like all the weathers, honestly. I'm a little partial to the warmth. Okay, today would be Uranus Day. Yesterday was Saturn's Day, so it actually fell on Saturday. That's pretty cool. We've had a lot of matching days this month. I wonder if that's why this month can be very influential. And then I know we're coming up on a full moon. And let's see. Is today Uranus? Yeah. Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. One of the things that I've learned about Uranus is I think Uranus is the seventh day, and why it was a day of rest. But then also we have the 7 days, and then we have the 9 days. And we have the 9 days that revert back to the cycle. And that's where we get month. All the names of the month come from the moon or the menses, that, a woman's period. Oh, which, by the way, I did some research, and guess what? A lot of the scientific feedback about women's periods matching is called a myth. They call it a myth. So it made me even wonder about the word myth, because, all right, let's take gravity, for example. And even air, right? You can't see air, and you can't see gravity, and gravity is actually very hard to explain. Yet, we don't call it a myth. My brother helped me say that. And, even with the word myth, does in the way that we give meaning to words. And the way that I was taught is that myths aren't real, right? But then we learn that some myths are real. Like all of our periods matching. Not all of our periods. So I guess they could say that, like, not every single period matches. But now we have, like, the pill and all kinds of birth control. And birth control is specifically for women, which is a whole nother thing. Like, wouldn't it be easier to create a birth control for men? And even, like, a partial vasectomy until a certain age, which I know a lot of people would be, like, cringe at. I don't know. I just don't understand why all the responsibility is given to the woman and then also that the science is based on keeping a woman from having her egg become fertilized. What is that doing to the, pills in general, the pill in general, and birth control in general do some weird things to the body. Isn't that a myth? No, those aren't myths. Those are scientifically proven. Anyhow, and then, like, with the IUD, and then, I don't know if people know this, but, like, my parents' generation, when it came to women and their womb, it was very mistaught. There was still a lot of douching going on, and even what was used to douche was very damaging to women. Yeah. So, as a woman, and then talking to many women, and I know men that have talked to women, and women, my mothers, almost every woman that I know that has had a basically normal period or moon cycle has said that they've synced with other women. So why is that a myth? I don't understand. Okay. But then it helps me to understand like so many things we've been taught and what it does to like our psyche when we try to compensate for misinformation. It's, goodness sakes. So to me, yeah, yeah, you know, and when I was doing my studies on gematria, and in one of the videos I watched, Robert Zuffer, let's make sure I claim the right person. In the picture, Mysica is the name of one of the symbols of science. Mysica. There is no T in it. So myth and TH and S sound, language, and dialect has changed over the years. So I wonder, you know, if when we call something a myth, if we're actually relating it to the feminine aspect of philosophy and the wonderment about things that are basically not always scientifically, you know, science doesn't always mean things are right either. I mean, look what science has taught us already. Science has taught us a lot of lies. Or what is called science. All right. I don't know where this video is going. I'm just like talking to myself, talking to you guys. Okay, the planets. And yes, because Monday was on the moon day, or Earth day that I call it, landed on Monday this week. And then Saturn's day landed on Saturday this week. So, and then if we had the 9-day calendars and we used to go by 9 days, where does the 7 come in? I think the 7 is part of the manipulation. I don't know how, but I think it is. And when I started looking also into the numbers, and you see a lot of the 7s mixed with other numbers come out to 9. I'm still practicing the 9 because I think that that's the mystery that we haven't been taught, and part of the magic that is being used that we're not privy to. And yeah, I think it's important to kind of like remember or possibly reactivate old cycles with new information. Maybe. So I'll talk a little, just sidetrack a little bit. So yesterday morning, one of the ladies I follow, her name is Deborah Speaks. She's on YouTube. Very deep information that she shares via her knowledge of the Bible, which I call the Sybil, aka the Sybil. She relates all the allegories. She relates the story as the allegory that it is, pointing out things that relate to the body and to the mind and to certain emotions and ways to help educate and change, right? She did a great video yesterday morning and a live, which I got to be part of. And so I wanted to give her a shout out. And also, there's what's interesting is, I know if you watch some of my older stuff, I started doing some decoding of the Bible in a totally different way. And that's what's really interesting is like, I think that that's also part of like the Bible symbol. And even when you go back to the original writings of where the Bible came from, or the scriptures, were ways to teach those that were going into the realms of education that maybe not everybody else was doing. Because I think there was a time where there was kind of it was so communal, right? So you would have the elders and the practitioners, and they would teach everybody, and whoever was interested in certain things would go towards certain things. So if you're really into nature, you might be the one who was more interested in herbs, or you might end up being somebody who knows how to becomes almost like an architect, builds from nature. And in some of her, like, the reason why I mention is because I talk about crystals, I talk about certain aspects of things, and it's almost like, for me, they're add-ons, but it took me going through different things and meeting different people and learning different cultures and spiritual mindsets. One of the things that she says that is absolutely true, which is we all have our own crystals within us. And I remember when I first heard that, I was like, why is somebody telling me this? This is way before I had seen her videos. And I actually had a rough time with that because I'm really, and I love crystals. Recently, I got a big Lemurian crystal. And the message I had gotten from the planet basically is that we used to use crystals, and we know that crystals are in our phones, and crystals are in certain, like, laser, crystals are in watches, and I do believe there are crystals in engines, cars, and planes and stuff like that to help calibrate. I could be wrong about that, but I know we use them in certain medical and things to help cut things. And so, and then the stories about like the Atlanteans using crystals. So I definitely think that there is a memory in the crystals. Anything that has water has memory, and crystals are like, to me, they're like petrified water, even though that's not really what they are. And this particular crystal kind of shows to me, it looks like it shows the process of the planet of Lemuria, Atlantis times. And I think crystals hold information. I think all stones do. I think everything holds information, technically. And I think that we can tap into that energy, and that we can it's like bringing more in, so we can utilize the energies of crystals if we so choose. And I know that that's something that has been manipulated, right? Because there is this energy on the planet that uses certain energies for control, and crystals can be used that way as well. But also, if that's the case, then we must have that same capability. That's ultimately what all the chaos in the world, like the unhealthy chaos in the world has shown me is that, or the techniques that those use say against us, we must be very, very capable, because they're using a lot of stuff to keep us obedient and questioning. All right, so I don't know. I don't really know what I'm talking about. Just sharing. I think I'm sharing too because I've really stepped into a space in my own personal life. Like, I am really in hermit mode. Really in hermit mode. It's super lonely, but necessary, you know? Yeah. Super lonely, but definitely necessary. It's teaching me stuff. On my own personal healing, I'm continuing to do the emotional stuff, doing a lot of writing, that kind of thing. Being a little bit more social, because I really became antisocial and distrusting these last couple of years. I'm not sure if I've shared. I think I did share a little bit where I was in fear about how my last 3 years have gone. Because of all this esoteric stuff, I joined a group on Facebook that was about spirituality and doing classes about understanding the laws of the universe and actually starting to practice some of that intention. And I felt very seen and I felt very accepted. And I was very excited because I was like, oh my gosh, I found my spiritual family. Which I might have. I know I've gone back and forth about this because I see that we can test ourselves and put ourselves through certain things. But also, I think that it should be shared about groups that are actually not there for the spiritual connection that we may be seeking, and that family soul connection we may be seeking. And I know, like, I'm good at this, even for myself, to play like the quote unquote the devil's advocate, or to see both sides of the situation. And I do see that for myself, if I hadn't gone through this, I wouldn't have figured certain things out. I would have kept believing that we weren't totally under a spell. I would have kept believing that that the mind control and the emotional control that's actually happening. I mean, I didn't stop believing it. I just didn't realize like how much I was participating in it as well. And so, as heartbreaking and disappointing and just terrible going through all that stuff was, because it just activated all my triggers, all my fears. It felt like all my fears got triggered all at once. And I mean, I made it through it, but good grief, it's just, and that's just a micro, right? I mean, of course I'm grateful. Things could have been way worse, and I actually have a very comfortable life. And I think that even in that, like, I talked myself out of the idea of this was abuse, because I know that things could have been way worse. But But I know I'm not the only one. I know that there's many, many, many women and men that go through what we call abusive relationships that I think are repatterning of what even got us in the emotional, maybe unbalanced unhealthiness that we were already in, that we may not have seen because of I didn't see it because of my own lack of seeing my own mask. Even though everyone was telling me, like, remove your mask, you have a lot of heart pains, you need to deal with that. I thought I had. I really thought I had, and I thought I wasn't wearing a mask. But my mask was, I'm good and I can please people, when now I know that is a mask. It might be good sometimes, but even when I'm bad, I'm good too. Or if I'm mad, I'm still good. Or if I'm upset or feeling high anxiety, I'm still good. But I couldn't do that before. I couldn't put it together before. So, like I said, I think some of what I'm sharing right now is selfish because I want to share and talk and connect with people. Yet knowing I need to be a little more discerning and cautious. So I've been writing every day. I've been writing my feelings every day. One of the new things that I've done, I think I shared with you all a tiny bit, is I repurposed a chair for yoni steaming, vaginal steaming. So if you don't know about that, there's tons of information on YouTube. I just want to share a little bit my experience. When I was a child, I was molested. I went through sexual trauma. And I've always thought that all my woman problems, I had endometriosis. I used to have horrible, painful, make me sick to my stomach periods. Long, heavy, I hated my periods. And that's sad to say because we shouldn't ever hate anything about ourselves, right? And I did used to wonder, how am I going to make it through life being in pain once a month, every month for, at least 4 to 8 days? What the hell? I had a cyst on my ovary. There was other sexual trauma that I experienced as I got older. And I always wanted children. And so I just kind of gave up on anything good happening to my yoni, besides me consciously, sending love. I practice singing to my yoni, not often, even though I know it helps, but I practice that. I do mental and my womb and my uterus and spring healing. So I've learned about the yoni steaming, and I just decided to try it, kind of like the orthobiotomy. Just decided to try it to see. Wow. So I've only done it 3 times. But each time, if I have any hip pain or abdominal pain, which I sometimes have, it goes away. And similar to when you start exercising, I look forward to the next time I'm going to yoni steam. So several kind of technical things about it. When I first started, so you want to make sure that the space is completely covered where you might put your steam pot. So here's what I do. I have herbs. There's an apothecary near here. If you're in the Southern Oregon area near Ashland, there's an apothecary called the Elder Apothecary, where they actually have a yoni steam bag with all the awesome herbs in it already. Plus they carry mugwort. So I actually got both the yoni steam bag and some mugwort. Mugwort is very good for the body and for the yoni. And so, and you can drink it as well. So I have a big pot that I'll put the herbs in, and then I'll add some spring water, because our water here has a lot of minerals in it, which I think it would be fine, because I'm steaming up the water anyways. But that's why I don't use this water, which I'll probably try it and see what happens. Because it becomes distilled once you boil it. So I put the pot on with the water and the herbs, and I put it on about medium, let it come to a boil, and then bring it down to simmer, and let it simmer for about 10 to 20 minutes. Turn that off, jump in the shower, and then pour the contents. Oh, before I jump in the shower, I turn on the crock pot, and then I pour the contents into the crock pot. I had to put some books underneath the chair to bring the crock pot up a little closer to the bottom of the chair, and put a blanket around my knees. And I've been meditating. I make my own candles, so I have some candles, and I brought my harmonica, and I played some harp, so to speak, for my womb. And I think healthy, loving thoughts about my womb and healing, and kind of hold my womb. So I don't know if it's just sitting and meditating that's helping the pain, because I know that can happen. But I'm going to continue. One of the things that I've really felt in doing the Yoni Steam is just incredible self-love. It is probably over yoga, taking a walk. The only other thing that compares is when I dance, and I do my own dancing ritual. But it's a different energy. It's like, it's just this incredible feeling of like, I am giving my body and myself something that no one else can give me. No one can give me that. And it just feels really nice, and it's helped. I've been walking, been doing the calcium bentonite. I know that to raise our vibrations, we need to be cleaner. It's slow steps right now, I'll be honest. I'm just continuing doing the things that I've already been doing. I still smoke cigarettes, and I still need to let go of other herbs, so to speak. But definitely smoking less, and doing more of other things, because that's my motto. Do more. If you do more, then you don't have to say to yourself, like, I shouldn't eat that, or I shouldn't be smoking. You're doing more, so you're creating time and space away from, quote unquote, the habits that you're creating new habits. You're letting go of the old habits by bringing in time to do more of other things, and things like more water. That's what I was saying. More water, more calcium bentonite, more good foods. I'm going to start doing diatomaceous earth again, because it has silica in it, which is really good for joints, and it also helps get rid of parasites and clean your body out, just like the calcium bentonite does. And and I just wanted to share, I don't know if I've shared it on here or not, but I didn't do it to my hair yesterday. I took a nice bath yesterday, and I didn't do any of the extra stuff to my hair. But what I do for my hair instead of shampoos and that kind of stuff is vinegar and calcium bentonite sometimes. And then afterwards, I use a blend of coconut oil, peanut oil, and olive oil. And then sometimes I put some essential oils in there. But I don't use any... Oh, well, that's not true. The bath soap I use is Bronner's. I don't know if you guys know about Bronner's Natural. They have toothpaste. They have soaps. What else does Bronner's have? I think lotion. Anyways, there's prayer written all over Bronner's products. and they're all natural. They're nice to the planet, and you can recycle their containers. I don't know about the tubes for toothpaste. Can you recycle those? I don't think you can anymore. But I will use that in my hair. It has oils in it, and essential oils. The one I like is tea tree, but they have rose, peppermint, unscented, a couple other ones I can't think of. They even have ones for babies. But I'll use that to wash my hair sometimes. But I don't use any, like, I used to use so much product on my hair. I had no idea. I bought into all that. Anyhow, I think I also shared about the earthing mats. And earthing. Yeah, just some basic, simple, kind of boring stuff to help get back to where I was health-wise. I'm definitely stronger in my body. My muscles feel better. But as I go through emotional healing, I definitely feel aches in my body, which I started realizing, like, sore muscles or muscle aches. I guess, this is my new theory, I'm guessing that if you have aching muscles, you might have an emotional ache within you that's attached to wherever that muscle is. Because I was doing some self-work last night, and I found energies of like force and pressure with my arms and wrists and hands trapped in there. And then once I massaged it and kind of let the emotion out, the pain completely disappeared. It was kind of amazing. I'm wondering if that's like the new quantum healing. If you're massaging yourself and you feel an ache or a pain, and you allow the emotion to come out and the pain goes away, like, what? That's pretty cool. So yeah, I've been practicing a lot of self-massage. My neck, I did some cupping. Yep, looks like a hickey kind of right there. Some cupping on my neck, cupping all over my body. It's helping. It's helping. So, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Oh, see you next time after I say and bring in that intention for myself and for you, that you be supported and uplifted, your family, your friends, your animals, your plants, your ideas, your art, your writing, your rest, your self-healing, your emotional work, your mental health. May they all be supported, uplifted. All right, until next time.